All right, hello everyone. This is Josh, also known as Yashu. You're just tuning into episode 92 of the TLOY Talks podcast. You can get this on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Buzzsprout, much more. We recently just have the Patreon right now too. So if you want to support like a little bit further, like sign up to become a member. You can join from like either tier, with either tier having like a lot of like advantages in like some ways too and all that. But yeah, like definitely check it out. Patreon.com/lensofyashu. And yo, I'm just gonna get this like started right here. So we have a rising up and coming metal / punk band, like all the way from Toronto. They've performed at like a lot of shows like all over the city. They opened up for the likes of Crossed Out and many more and all that too. So we have members Pop Plug and also Dan of Doomstone Music. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
Yeah, really good actually. Hot day, but it's nice and cool in here, air conditioned, and that's where we at right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, we actually linked up at Crossed Out's show back in like October and all that too. And
yeah,
I think that's like
Piston,
Piston, yeah. Like I think you guys had like a great set from there too, and then I think also like Crossed Out, he was like also like doing this thing too, Melodica, and then you've seen you guys like I've heard you guys like perform like all over like the city and all that too, and you know it's kind of like amazing to see and all that, you know. So
yeah, we know we've been doing our thing. It's been fun. And we're ready to have more fun and do more things, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I want to like get it like started for a bit too. So where did you guys grow up, and what was like the environment like for you growing up? Would you say it was a great experience like growing up in those areas?
First of all, I'm just gonna say I got a gum skin graft last Friday, so I got a giant wound inside my mouth right now.
Yeah. You want me to talk more?
No, I'm all good actually. Okay. I feel like it's like getting much better now. But I grew up in St. Catharines. I moved here like 10 years ago. I went to school for audio engineering and production. St. Catharines was pretty cool. It was like a small city. I used to just run around, just cause trouble all the time and shit there. There's a lot of like rock music in St. Catharines. Neil Peart's from there. It was in between my dad's drummer and Neil Peart to be in Rush. So yeah, like I grew up like watching like a really nice rock band playing like solid classic rock music. Yeah, like a lot of good rock music, good festivals, just hanging out with friends, just making music and stuff.
For sure. And you want to talk more?
Yeah, so I'm born in Portugal, you know, but I grew up in Toronto. And yeah, you know, I feel like growing up here, like it's really blessed because you meet a lot of different cultures, and I feel like the multicultural fabric of the city helps with creativity, especially growing up downtown. Like you're just exposed to everything, everyone from everywhere, you know? So when I hear about like people like from other places, like racism and stuff like that never tracked for me, you know? Even my father, he worked in Angola and stuff, and I was like conceived in Angola, but it's better to be born in Portugal at the time because of the Civil War.
All right.
But yeah, you know, so I feel like those experiences really shaped like me and like my music taste and just like absorbing like different cultures and stuff like that.
Sure. And I'm guessing Portugal wasn't like really big on like rock music, like in a sense at the time.
Yeah, it's more, they have a style called Pimba. It's a pop music.
Okay.
And in terms of like international rock music, it's like like they're exposed to that through summer festivals and stuff like that. But they had like a local scene, but nothing compared to here in America and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. And for Dan, like I know like your dad was like in a rock band too and all that. So how was it like, you know, like even like seeing that further, like from him performing at like a lot of like events and like him like making music and all that?
Yeah, it was really cool because it's like I grew up like just seeing him as a normal person, you know, not really thinking much about it, but and you just see him get on stage and it's like witnessing this like crazy power, you know?
Okay.
Just seeing like a person, it's like Kamehameha, like fucking going Super Saiyan all of a sudden, just a normal dude. Yeah. And I remember just being young, just seeing his jam sessions all the time. Like I was about 6 years old, just like hanging out at his, he was just jamming in his band's basement and stuff. And I'm just like walking around, just hanging out in the backyard. And I hear this noise just coming from the basement. Just like this power, you know?
Oh, for sure, man. And what did you guys like listen to like growing up, like in a sense and all that?
When I was like 6, I used to listen to like Backstreet Boys and shit like that.
Not sure.
Then I was listening to like Sum 41 and like Good Charlotte, stuff like that. And then eventually like Led Zeppelin, Hendrix, once I discovered that more. Then like Pantera, Metallica.
Sure. How about you, man?
Yeah, you know, for me, like the year I discovered like much music countdown, much loud, all that, I just stopped watching cartoons, you know? I went from cartoons, a little bit of sports, and then boom, just like straight music all the time. I'd wake up early before school, watch the Much classic hits, get home, watch Much music countdown. So whatever's on there, like all type of, not just rock, but like hip hop and dance and just great music. It's a great time to like really absorb music. It was more like centralized, sure, but like I like the time now too where it's a little more fragmented, but like especially growing up in Toronto is like they had the CanCon, right? So you're exposed to like Canadian bands like Our Lady Peace and those type of groups. Like you said, Sum 41, you know, like if it wasn't for that, like you would just be American music only, you know? So it was good to like grow up in that time and be exposed to like all that different type of music.
For sure. And I guess like this is like the same time like Ed the Sock was like also like a fan
Yeah,
too,
exactly. Yeah.
and like Master T. Yeah, no, I know what you mean, man. And as far as you getting started into music, like how did you guys get like your start like in music, like in a sense?
I started playing guitar when I was like 12 years old. My dad showed me a lot. I originally wanted to be a drummer, but I just figured playing guitar would be a good thing. I remember just like some of my friends were kind of getting into guitar, and I was like, oh, well, show me that riff. And I just started picking songs up really quick and learned a lot from that. And then I just learned song after song. My dad would just show me stuff, and he was always very supportive. And I just picked it up very quickly and just really enjoyed it. I got into like audio engineering a lot after that, like recording and stuff. And when COVID started, I just started playing guitar a lot more because I had a lot of time. I was like playing classic rock covers with my friend and stuff. And then my grandma died a while ago, and then I got an electric guitar. I started like really getting into metal more around that time. Like I heard Korn Woodstock '99, and that just like blew my mind. So I just really loved where you could just down tune a guitar and make it sound really fat. So I got a guitar with some inheritance money, and I was like, all right, well, I'm responsible now. Like I have to do something with this. So I just started just writing whatever I could, and I had no idea what it would become and who I'd be hanging out with, recording with, but I just kept pushing it, and next thing you know, there's all these songs made.
Sure.
Yeah, it's interesting because like it's nice that he comes from a position of support, you know, but for me, like my family don't really understand music. So it's like, yeah, I got a guitar when I was 11, but it's like they didn't even buy me a tuner. So fell out of tune. I fell out of it. But when I was like 17 around, I discovered like Metallica and Rage Against the Machine. And I didn't even know how to read music notes, but I got the same guitar as like the James Hetfield, the Gibson Explorer. And I just started playing that. But then like bare guitarists, you know, it's too much guitarists. So I'm like, yo, screw this. Like, I'm not going to compete with these guys. Some guys are like playing 8 hours a day. I don't got 8 hours a day to practice, you feel me? So it's like, okay, let me pick up the bass. Not because it's an easier guitar, because I'm drawn more to groove-oriented music anyways. So I started playing with that. And honestly, I just do the music for, yeah, it's like therapy for us, but I love to see the smiles in the room and people grooving to it. Like, so I respect that a lot, you know? Like music is a tool, an instrument to bring like people together from all over. So that's why I rock with it the most.
For sure, man. And I'm guessing that's like how you guys like came about too, or was there like a way that you guys like all met together and like formed the band?
We were working at the Budweiser stage as stagehands. I remember just like, I was just looking for musicians to join my band around that time. And I just saw Ronaldo just like, he was kind of like walking around, like moving his mouth around, all kind of like just doing some like mouth shit. I was like, oh, this guy seems interesting. I was like, do you sing or something? And then we just started talking about like rock music. And I was like, yeah, I'm trying to make music.
So I remember that day like it was yesterday. It was 2022. It was Chris Brown Lil Baby concert at Budweiser stage, right? Yeah. And that day, like got off the bus, I'm walking to work, and I'm just listening to like Kanye West song, Father Stretch My Hands, like the intro, the gospel part. You're the only power, you're the only power that can. And I'm like, yo, I'm just gonna loop this to boost my singing. It's like an RPG, feel me? So I'm like, I'm at work, they paying me, they might as well pay me to practice singing. right? Like, why am I gonna just stand around, go on my phone? I'm just looping this. And like that's how Dan saw me. Like, I'm just practicing that. And he's like, oh, you sing? He's like, you should try out for my metal band, you know? I was like, sure, why not, you know? And like here we are right now talking about the experience, like all we've been through. And like it's just fun playing with this guy because it's like he's very like spontaneous like me, you know? He's not like, oh, I need the tabs in front of me, I need the paper. Like he's not shaky like that. It's like, yo, let's just do this music. That's it. And that was in around like July 2022, whenever the Chris Brown the Baby concert. And the craziest thing too is I met Tory Lanez that day too, because I did the dismantle as well at nighttime. And Tory Lanez the only like celebrity or like artist that like actually like thanks the workers. And he turned to me and two other workers on each side. He's like, yo, thank you guys so much for all the hard work y'all put in setting up these concerts and stuff, because without you, we couldn't do what we do. And I looked at him and it's like he's working with me type of thing. He's like an employee in this big company called Entertainment, you know? So that was a very inspiring experience. And yeah, that was the day I met Dan, and we've been going hard ever since.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess like working at like Budweiser's like stage at that time too, was it like an amazing experience, you know, like working there and like taking in that knowledge of just the environment like at that place?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get to walk out on the stage and just see all the people there, like
It's a
right
vibe,
after
you
the
can
show,
feel
you
it.
feel the energy.
Yeah. And I'm guessing you've never had like a celebrity that had like a bad experience, like that had like that was like totally like different from what they expected, or were they all
No,
good?
like yeah, sometimes like they're busy, you know, like they're going city to city. But I never met like anyone that was like acting like a piece of shit or nothing like that. I
Gotcha.
can swear, right? Is that
Yeah,
cool?
you're fine.
All right. Yeah, no, I never seen anyone like acting like a dick or anything like that, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, I remember like the singer from Megadeth was just kind of hanging around. He's just like got some like puppies just hanging out with him and stuff.
Sure. Nah, for sure, man. Nah, it's amazing to see and all that.
Yeah,
And
like even like I seen Chris Brown like earlier in that day, and this guy's like smoking a cigarette. And I never seen a man smoke a cigarette like this. He's like hard, like not even like to get rid of stress, but I feel like he's like pushing himself, and it's like, man, this guy's a machine, you
Kind
know?
of smoke it quick.
and I'm guessing it's not weed, or is it just like
No,
a
it's a cig. It was a bogey.
Oh,
like,
shit.
Just back, you're not even supposed to smoke backstage. But I remember he had like this like 1,000-yard stare, like, yo, I'm ready to attack this. It's like he's going to war type of thing.
Yeah.
And his backup dancers are like on the grass, like practicing their moves. It's like a traveling machine, you know, like a traveling company. And I really respect the work these guys put in. So it's like we know how to set up these shows too. So it's like we can do it too. You know, we got something to say with the music, the words, and we're just here to inspire people. Like just like go ape with it. You know.
Yeah, nah, for sure, man. And as far as like the musical like influences like from the band and all that too, would you say that the stuff that you guys like listened to was like the main influences, or did you guys have like other like influences as well too? And who would you like to work with someday?
A lot of my influences like Hendrix. I just fucking love the way he solos and stuff. Like so like spiritual and wild and raw, and like just shit with like fat guitars and like Pantera. Like Dimebag's an amazing guitar player. Fucking like Mudvayne, just those heavy slamming guitars and shit. I just love that shit. And Korn's like my favorite too. But I just kind of like feel it, and I don't know, it just becomes whatever it becomes. I have no idea what it's gonna become. Like every song I start making, it's just like I have no idea what it's gonna sound like, but it just becomes something.
Sure. And as far as like who you want to like work with someday with like the band, like do you have any takes on who you want to work with?
Black Sabbath, but I don't know if I can do that. Like I don't know, man. These bands are like really fucking good. It's like that's a big step.
What
to
about like
open
a
up for
producer like this Terry Day, like Ross Robinson, some of the records?
Rick Rubin as
Rick
well too.
Rubin.
Yeah.
them. Eddie Kramer would be pretty sick.
Yeah, and I definitely see you with Eddie Kramer and all that. Rick Rubin as well too.
Right, that guy's creative.
I mean, who else? Like I know it's like more like a jazz like pop thing, but like Mark Ronson too. Like I feel like he has like a lot of like
Yeah,
good
he's
like
very
funk-
versatile.
Yeah. Like Salam Remy and all that
Oh
too.
yeah, the first Amy Winehouse albums.
Yeah, yeah.
Nas.
Exactly. And as far as like the whole like creative process, like even like when making music, because I've seen it like from the YouTube videos too, but like how's it like, you know, when actually like recording music and like what a day like in the studios like for the band and all that?
Well, we went to I had a bunch of weed oil before this. I'm like pretty fucking ripped right now, so it's hard to remember all the
Doing your
names and
thing.
shit. But Grand Avenue Studio, we recorded our drums there. That's the place that Daniel Lanois built. He's like the producer for like U2 and like Neil Young, Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, a little bit and stuff. And I was working at DC Music, so he started co-owning that place. So I talked to him. We went there, recorded the drums there. I got like a nice audio box and some microphones. I recorded the guitar and bass just at a rehearsal studio where I could get a nice amplifier. And then I used to work at Boom Recording Studio doing vocals. I recorded a lot of hip hop vocals and stuff there. So we went there, tracked the vocals there, and I've been mixing it at my house.
Sure. And so, like, you guys prefer like more like home studios or like just like the in-house studio, like in a sense too?
I guess just like a mixture of anything, really. You know, it's just kind of whatever works, whatever's nice for every individual element.
Sure, no, most definitely. And I want to like get back to your story, Dan, for a bit too. So, how's it like, like coming to Toronto from St. Catharines, and was it like kind of like a different experience, like living there and just analyzing the way people like live and all that, and just like understanding the
Yeah.
environment and all that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot more laid back, a lot more like forest and St. Catharines and stuff. Like, I heard it's pretty crazy now, but I haven't been there in like 10 years really that much. But I remember just coming here and just seeing like, it's still a little overstimulating sometimes, but I've adapted to it. It's just so much going on, and it just seems like everyone's trying to make an impression like a lot more.
Sure, and like mostly like even with the scenes and all that, and just from different environments too. So yeah, I got you. To speak more on like the name like Doomstone, like how did you guys like get that name for the band and all that?
I was working, when I started doing this, I had a guitar player that I met, and literally just like picked one riff, and we just sit there and just try to figure out structures of songs and stuff like that. He helped me like memorize the songs a lot more. I was like a lot of the creative aspect behind it. I pretty much wrote like most of it. He kind of added like one riff to like one song. But what was the question?
Like the backstory behind the name Doomstone.
Yeah.
So,
So we were just coming up with like band names. Like I literally just write down like funny names on my phone now for like 4 years, and he came up with Doomstone one day actually, and we were gonna use that, and I was like, oh, that's taken. I was like, what about Doomstoned? We're just like, yeah.
sure.
I feel like that really represents us in a way. You know, we like to like get stoned and just fucking play doom metal.
So like psychedelic, like metal, like in a sense and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely
That's
got
the
some like
stoned aspect.
psychedelic vibe to it too.
Yeah, for sure, man. And there's like a lot of songs that you guys do like more within the whole like psychedelic sound, like with Bong Ripper, Nunslinger, Rochambeau, Art of Anger. Like you could like find all these like videos like on YouTube as well too for people that are actually watching too. But like, how did you guys figure out like the inspiration and creative process for like these songs?
I just like come up with a riff. I'll just be messing around on guitar and like a riff will come up, and I just try to figure out the structure for the songs. And then yeah, I just got a list of like hundreds of just funny and random badass names and shit in my phone, and I'll just filter through them and be like, all right, well, this one sounds like it would work for this song the best, and then I'll just send the name to him and he'll just start writing lyrics.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I be writing lyrics all the time because I believe in like process over product. Because if you're too like obsessed with product,
Yeah.
like you're gonna like you can't just sit down like, yo, I'm gonna do 3 songs today. I'm gonna make 3 beats today. Don't work like that. So I'm always in the process. It's like when I was talking about like I'm humming the Kanye West song. That's the process, right? So I have like a lyrics bank. So I always be writing lyrics. I have like metal lyrics, hip hop, inspirational, romantic song, whatever. I just always be writing down,
yeah, for
And then like when he had the titles, some couplets start fitting together, and then you just sit down and boom, 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 boom,
yeah.
So that's how the lyrics came about. That was the process for pretty much all of them. He had the titles, and I wanted to protect like the sanctity of like those names. I don't want to like even offer like, oh, you want to like call it something else? I'm like, no, this is like keep it like pure to like the original source. So that's how that came about.
Yeah, for sure. And like I was like watching like the whole video for like Rochambeau where you guys detailed the whole studio process for creating the song, figuring out the riffs and all that too, and like
yeah.
even like having like Crossed Out like do like a little performance too. So how was that experience like in a sense?
Oh, I want to explain that when Crossed Out.
Oh,
Yeah, that was still the audition process. Still.
yeah, I had like 3 singers come in that day, and like Crossed Out didn't even know there was gonna be other singers there, and like no one he's the only person that was there in the band. Like the drummer there was one of my dad's friends he used to jam with in the 70s. The bass player there was like a guy we used to play bass with before. We went through like a couple of different musicians, but it was that was a good moment when Crossed Out was there with us too. That sounded raw. That was dope.
When I first seen him, because like we're auditioning, so I didn't even know him. He came in, this guy looked like the new like Sid Vicious, And I'm just dressed in a black shirt, black pants. I'm like, damn, I gotta step up my game, But it's like right away we just clicked, and like he got like that flow aspect too, which I love about music. Like he can rap, sing, all that, and I do the same thing. And so we're just going back and forth, and like it was a really fun experience still.
And
we were just improvising completely there. Like the song wasn't even what the song is
Yeah,
now.
we had
like,
I had the hook, just like Rochambeau, you know, and rock paper scissors.
Yeah.
And
Nah, for sure. And I'm guessing that was like the first time you guys like met Crossed Out, or was it like
no, he knew him from
I
time.
met him at an open mic like when I first moved to Toronto. I remember like he came up and he was just fucking going crazy, just yelling and shit. I'm just sitting there just ripping blues solos before that. And we just started hanging out after that. We just get drunk, go see shows and shit. So we've been friends for a while.
Sure. And with him like having like a lot of like experience since like 2017, 2018, like how was that experience, you know, like interacting with him, like working with him with music and like even meeting like people like around him, like melodica and all that, and like what advice did he give you like on how to like make it in the Toronto scene or just like in the music industry in general?
I'm not sure if I can think of any advice particularly right now, but it was kind of cool to just watch him like from the very start, kind of in a way, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, his example is advice. Like that dude is mad driven, you know?
Yeah.
Like very particular and like got nothing but respect for him.
For sure.
Very inspirational guy.
Likewise. Nah, I definitely agree, you know, and you know, like from noticing like all these songs like only being on YouTube, just like from the videos, what made you decide on not having those songs on like streaming platforms?
Well, we're still finishing up the first recording right now. I just want to get that mix perfect, and we're gonna put it on Spotify, whatever we can do after that, like actual proper recordings instead of us just jamming and stuff.
Sure. And you know, being that like a majority of you guys are like producers, sound engineers too, like you went to school for like audio engineering too. Like how did those like skill sets like help the band create like the best like music, like in a sense and all that?
We just feel it out. I don't know. It just is what it is. You know, it's like a stream of energy.
Yeah,
Sure.
like for me, like in terms of singing or playing bass, it's like I know when to leave space. And I know like if he's going high, sometimes I'll go low. If he's going low, sometimes I'll go high. It's like intuitive and sometimes it's calculated too. It's not just like, oh, let me just double his riff, but sometimes I'll do that. It's he's got everything's in service of the song. But it's like knowing production for sure helps because back in the day, they don't have no filter. They don't got no compressor. It's like, it got to be like when you listen to Black Sabbath, like Ozzy sing that high because the verse, the riff is so low. If he's singing low, you're going to get phasing naturally. It don't feel good. That's why Ozzy, like he sings super high, the riffs are super low and it just sound clean. They don't have to go, oh, let me EQ this out. They don't got that. It's got to be lightning in a bottle type of thing, you know?
And just like equipment and attitude pretty much.
Yeah.
Equipment and attitude.
And like also like, you know, back then they didn't really had like a lot of like high tech equipment like at the time too.
Just
It was
roll
just-
the tape and capture that.
Yeah.
You get a good take, maybe very little overdubs, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's how these guys are touring and cranking out albums all the time, you know? So we respect that, like that train of thought for sure, that process.
Sure. And you know, one thing that I did notice like from you guys and all that too is that, you know, you're more of like a performing band, like by performing either like in Toronto or like, you know, putting your sessions like on YouTube. So tell me more about the progression, like performing and how that experience like diverging in that aspect of like music in a sense and all that.
Well, we played 3 shows now. It's a lot of fun actually. Like we're starting to, I'm only starting to get into shows, playing shows more now, but like the energy is just crazy.
Yeah, this music is for the live shows, you know? We don't do it just the studio music is just to bring people to the live show. So they have an example, but it's all about the live show.
I just like documenting it too. It's like good moments and stuff, seeing it all kind of progress and expand. It's like I remember like recording music when I was like 15 and just seeing it till now. It's just this like little energy ball that just kind of just keeps growing, becoming more diverse and stuff.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Because like, you know, like from like even like seeing like the crowd and like even noticing like the crowd like interactions too. Like, have you ever noticed like from how the crowd interacts like with the music, like when you guys like perform and all that?
I don't even look at the audience all that much. I just try to feel the music and just fucking rock out. Like it's so inspiring to seeing my dad do all this stuff like on stage and stuff. So like there's a lot of like energy drawn from that, and I just listen to music all the time. I just love the way it makes me feel. It's kind of like I see stars in a way, you know. It's just I just want to just fucking rock out.
Oh, for sure, man.
And it's like part chaos too. Like it's just fucking drop a bomb, light a fire.
Yeah,
sure.
like the crowd itself is an instrument part of the music, you know?
Yeah.
Like we're not playing to a wall. So when we see people feeling it, it's like they feed us energy and we want to feed it back type of thing. So it's like a circular, symbiotic type of relationship.
And have you ever had like any like fan interaction moments, like when they came like after the show and all that too, just like telling that they like the music?
Oh yeah,
and
all the time, you know?
Yeah.
Not to toot our own horn, but it's like they can speak for the acumen speaks for itself type of thing, you know?
People seem to like it.
For sure.
For
Like
sure.
that's what like inspires us. Okay, we got something. It's like now it's time to go even harder, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's just that raw feeling and just kind of going crazy. And
Yeah, the sense
not
of
really like
urgency.
being an asshole or like egotistical about it or anything.
Oh, for sure, man. And like from what I've noticed too, like you actually noticed like Crash Adams' like journey in a sense too. So how was it like even like seeing that, and even with your uncle like owning the studio that he worked and performed like music at?
Yeah, that was his uncle that owned the studio. So I was just working there, and like we had Dean Jarvis come in, like Alicia Carr's music director. We'd be trying to like sell music to him and stuff, and I'd see him there starting to make his own stuff. And I didn't really think I did like it's not my kind of music really, but he's a cool guy. Like I respect that he makes music and stuff. So it was kind of cool just to see him start making his own music, and like it always sounded pretty good. And he'd start showing it to them, and then eventually he like hired. He like during COVID, I saw him working on it like all the time, and then he hired Dean Jarvis to be their music director, and I started working at DC Music, so I'd always see him at DC Music every week, like practicing their stuff and getting it refined. And then next thing you know, they got signed by Warner, and they really took off. So like just seeing like people around me kind of do it, it makes me realize that anybody can do it.
And like even like noticing like the creative process and like knowing like how the setup is too, because I've asked like a lot of like engineers, producers, everyone else too, like on how like a studio's like session should be and all that too. So like what do you feel like are like some like studio rules that you guys would like to share and all that too, or just some common ground rules and how to make it like a better place and all that?
Like a rehearsal session or a recording session?
I could say like a recording session. We could also dive deep into the rehearsal too.
For recording, it's just be ready. Just be ready.
Yeah, put in the work before you go into this tool. Like this tool, when you experiment, it's still like be prepared before the experiment. And I'm the type of like producer where it's like I'm down to try ideas. I don't like this like, oh, maybe this won't work. Like just try the idea, see how it sounds. Because how you think it sound in your head may be different how it sound on wax, So just try stuff, try different harmonies, like get a step outside yourself,
Just be creative.
Mm-hmm.
True. And like even like in the sessions, do you like kind of blaze up or kind of like sip some liquor to be in that element?
Me, I'm the type of guy like I do what the artists want to do, short of like hard drugs and stuff like that. None of my artists I work with do that anyway. But like if the artists want to smoke, let's go smoke a spliff. If you want to drink a 1-2 Tito's, let's drink some Tito's.
Yeah.
If you want to be sober, I'll be sober too. I'm not gonna smoke and they're gonna be sober. So like that way we're on the same wavelength type of thing,
So it's different, but I'll say that smoking weed's quite enjoyable for making any kind of art.
Yeah. Nah, for sure. Like I've had like even like podcast sessions where I would like take some shots too, or like sip some liquor, or I'd give like an edible like just in case too, or you'd smoke some weed just to be in that element too. Yeah.
Like, just ease it, relax. We're here to relax. Some people got nerves, and that's cool. That's part of the process.
I remember like I used to make like comedy rap at my house just for fun, and like the one time I was getting ready to go to a party and I just started a song and I was just drinking more and more as the song went on, just getting looser and looser. And by the end of the song, I'm just fucking.
Yeah, it's fun creating like that, but like, when it comes to editing, you gotta be like stone cold, 100% sober, because you can't be second guessing yourself.
Well, I microdosed some shrooms one time when I was like mixing and shit. And I was fucking. I could like feel it inside my ears and feel like every little detail.
For sure. And I want to ask, like, how did you even get into comedy rap, like in a sense?
What's that?
How did you like get into like comedy rap and all that?
Well, I was just working at like a recording studio, recording hip hop all the time, and like you see different levels of skill and stuff, and a lot of the stuff is like punch-ins. Really, like you just say like some people they'd say fucking like 1 or 2 words and then go to the next thing, and they try that like 100 times. So it's just like you can do it. And I was kind of just making a joke out about it. It's like it's just not taking it seriously, just fucking just laughing and just being silly and shit. And it's just so funny to hear your voice like in the microphone to a beat, and then you can do echoes and all these like funny effects. It's just so it's a lot of fun to mix.
Sure. And who do you take inspiration from that? Like I know like there's like a lot of people like within that range, like Weird Al Yankovic and all that. I mean Drewski sometimes too. I mean
Tom Green.
Yeah.
After I started making it, I heard Pink Guy, and I was like, oh, this guy's doing the same shit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Joji's like kind of like hard with that too. Yeah, there's like actual comedy albums too, like from Bill Cosby and like all those other people too. And I think the closest one who did something like that too was like Bo Burnham and all that too, which he did the Jeff Bezos song and all that too. So
yeah, he's got great songs.
Yeah,
a good song's a good song, whether it's comedy or sad, whatever. Good music is good music.
I've always been like I just experiment in every little detail. Like in every way that I can. Like the recording studio is kind of like a wacky science lab to me. Like before, I used to just all the time I just wake up and just start recording a beat, just whatever was on my mind or whatever just comes out at that time. So I've flexed around like tons of different areas.
Yeah, for sure. And how did you feel like the comedy rap like differed from like, you know, the metal stuff that you've been doing and all that too? Was it just like kind of like a different like energy, different vibration and all that?
I didn't really like start making like metal until I like, yeah, when I heard Core in Woodstock 99 in 2020, like that really blew my mind. And then I started really delving deeper into metal and stuff. I've been getting more and more there. Like before I used to just listen to like Metallica, Pantera, or like Primus even and stuff like that. But like that's what really, really got me into like that, into like I started understanding Slipknot after and stuff. Before it used to sound like drills just banging and shit. But I used to like hip hop though because it gave me that same feeling that metal does, where you can kind of just like yell and shit like that. Like it's like that bass just pumping and shit. So it has similarities.
Yeah. No, I mean with metal, like I mean it has like a lot of like great styles and like even great creativities too. My bad. But yeah, like I would notice like some like projects from like Led Zeppelin and like, you know, Steve Hackett and like all these other people too, where they do more of a melodic, majestic sound, like when it comes to like the instrumentation too. And then you'll have like other ones where it's just a lot of screeching, a lot of,
Yeah.
you know, like synths like played through. Like I could like definitely see that with like Black Sabbath and all that. And I mean, what I was like trying to think like the Stooges and all that.
Yeah.
MC5.
Iggy Pop, yeah.
Yeah.
Primus, yeah, not exactly.
You could even hear a sub on the one Led Zeppelin song. Like the bass is just straight sub. Can't remember what it is. I don't know. It starts off just like really, really chill, and then it's just got this fucking sub bass just rocking behind it.
Yeah. I think my favorite one, like in terms of like creativity within like metal and rock, I'd say there's like this song called like I Don't Care by like Apocalyptica with like Adam Gontier of like 3 Days Grace and all that too. And like just like having like the violin instrumentation like with the orchestra with like Adam's like vocals, like it kind of hits like, and they did like 2 different versions where it was just like straight up like orchestra, and then the other where it's just straight up like rock and all that too. So
yeah, like Korn Unplugged.
Yeah.
Got like violins in the background and stuff.
Jay-Z Linkin Park.
Wherever I May Roam by Metallica.
Oh, yeah. S&M.
Yeah.
You can fuse anything together, really. It's just like the guitar kind of becomes the bass in metal a little bit somewhere sometimes. But
Yeah, it's the groove, you know. It's groove oriented. Both are groove oriented music. Like most of the time, it just, you know, just makes people want to move, and like that's what movement is flow, and rap is hip hop is pure flow music.
that's some of the funnest guitar style to play, in my opinion.
I mean, even like the piano too. Like I feel like the piano also plays like a crazy like role, like when it comes to creating like that whole like, you know, I think solo sound and all that too. And then
big time.
even just like with closing and all that too. So sometimes it kind of hits at like different moments, like when you hear it, you know. So yeah, man. And I want to like get more into like the whole like situation with the band too, because like I know you guys talked about like losing like members in the band too. So like how was like that situation like with like losing members and like dealing with, you know, reformatting like the band like in a sense?
Yeah, every May I've been working on this for 3 years, I think now or something. And like every May it's like I've had a musician along for like 8-9 months, and we get it going, we're like ready to start doing shit, and they just bail. Like the first guitar player, we worked on a lot of stuff. We sounded fucking sick together, but then after a while it was just like, well, it's not kind of going where I want it to right now as fast as I'd like. So he stopped doing that. Like it takes time. But then we had another bass player in for a while, and then he just wasn't feeling it after a bit. Then we had another bass player, and it was going pretty good, but he just, I don't know, he was living at his parents' house or whatever. He was like 24, 25 or something like that, like really busy with work. He was always very hard to get a hold of. And then I think he like moved out of his parents' house, lived with his sister for a little bit. I don't know if I should be saying this or whatever, but it is what it is. And like we had a show coming up that was like 2 weeks ago. It was like 3 weeks before the show, and he just stopped responding to us. So it's like a week before the show. It's like, well, what are we going to do now? And it's like, this guy is originally a bass player before he was a vocalist. So he learned the songs in 1 week, and we went in and still killed the show. It was like I was a little bit nervous, but
Do you feel like it has to do with like a lot of like egos or just like, different intentions of like how they would have felt like the band would be too? Because some people either have like different intentions of trying to make it to like the band too, like to get like women or like make money, all that type of stuff too.
This music thing is not easy. We don't live in a society that prioritizes artists or musicians. It's like, so when things in life happen, like some people they just shut down and they want to. It's not just the music; they don't want to do anything type of thing. But being in a band, it's like you want guys that's like completely 110% passionate.
yeah,
And
you
like,
gotta be in it.
and just communicate, be completely transparent. So now that we're a 3-piece, it's like way easier to get things done.
Yeah,
It's like each one teach one, like steel sharpens steel type of thing. So even like, I had to learn the bass in like a week. It's like, I could do this because like when I focus. Like all I did was practice the bass, went to his place. That Sunday we practiced like 6 hours. And like some part I was stuck on. And like we just kept doing that for like half an hour, just one little part.
even last jam session last week, it was like
Yeah.
the first half, it was like a little bit rough, but then we started just fucking nailing it.
It's like sports. Like we the athletes of music, right? What's an athlete gonna do? If you gotta fix your shot, you're gonna wake up early and you're gonna just throw baskets. You gotta build your muscle memory,
Yeah.
So that's
true.
what we about, and we only want guys around us that are on that level, on that tip.
Yeah, no,
And now we finally got that. We didn't have that before, but now it's like there's no weak link, nothing. It's like it's full steam ahead from here.
Yeah,
sure.
the whole crew is pretty solid now.
Yeah. And like even people who are like multi like instrumentals too, like just like not only like with vocals, like a lot of them are also like pretty good in like capturing like that sound like that's needed too. Like you could say that with like Phil Collins, who also plays like the drums to the lead singer from I think the Eagles too, who also like plays
Don
the drums.
Henley,
Yeah. And then I think also like Metallica too. Like I think he does like some interchanging with drums and like with guitar and all that. So yeah, it's interesting in a sense too.
and it helps too, like knowing different instruments. It's like it's easier to communicate with other musicians, So it's like you said, he started like kind of wanting to play drums, but that foundation helped him with the rhythm for the guitar. Like he's one of the best, not just soloists, but like rhythm guitar players. He's mad precise, and I'm starting to see that like learning these bass lines and stuff. So like I play little drums, I do I started guitar. It's good to know a little bit of everything, Jack of all trades, master of none. You can never master something. If you have that attitude, resting on your laurels, like you're gonna start sinking like that. So it's always wake up every day. What can I learn today? What can I learn today?
Always be better.
Yeah, exactly, man. And like even for you guys like being in the Toronto music scene too, so how do you like even feel about that? Like at the moment, do you feel that there should be some changes on the direction of how the scene should go to, or do you feel like it's fine the way it is?
There's some cool metal bands around. Personally, like I'm not really into like the hip hop stuff as much anymore. I feel like a lot of it's just kind of like egotistical in a way. But I mean, it's a beautiful thing for everybody to be able to create music, though.
Yeah, the thing, like the musicians and the artists is great no matter what genre, but I feel like this city is probably one of the worst in the world to do music. Because like you see the economic situation, I'm not getting political, but there's an economic situation go around, and they want us to bring people to bars, and they're charging like $10 a drink. At History, they're charging $15 for a little Stella Artois. Like no one gonna pay that. I'd rather them spend money on merch and invest in the band, but like people are struggling right now, So it's like this is changing the scene. It's changing live music all across the board.
And
so
music's like a fashion statement more than anything now. It's fucking retarded.
Yeah, because I feel like they try to prioritize it like more like as a mainstream.
So they're trying to turn us into like alcohol salesmen. Say, bro, I'm not an alcohol salesman. I'm here to do this music. It's like, and it's like
music's about heart and soul.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like I feel like you're gonna see a lot of more like DIY type of like shows, like the hardcore scene would have. Just pop up and boom with a generator. There's a player show, BYOB, all that. Because music's about bringing people together, and with $10 drinks, frankly, you're not gonna bring no one together like
just
that.
Breaking those stiff chains of reality that everyone's trying to fit into.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Do you ever feel like there's like a crab in the bucket mentality like in Toronto?
I feel like the biggest crab in the bucket is the one like themselves, because everyone's always gonna try to put you down, but ultimately you're the master of your own ship. So if people try to put you down, like that's a good thing. It means you're doing something right. You gotta keep going.
Yeah,
because a lot of negative thoughts you might have, you have to realize someone planted that thought in your head,
Yeah.
So it's like there's like, it's like, yeah, the chaos song Crab Bucket. There's a lot of that, but like in our experience, like people have been really supportive and they want to see, everybody want to see, good people want to see good people win, you know?
Yeah.
So if a band like was like hashtag famous or won a Juno, I'm not going to be like, oh, it should have been us type of thing. It's like, that's their turn right now, but we're going to do our thing, you know? They got their world, we got our world, and we can collaborate and all that, you know? Like it's about, so we can do music all the time, all of us, like do creativity all the time in a society that does not prioritize creativity.
But it's definitely like walking around the streets, though. It's kind of like a little crab bucket. It's like guys are always trying to size me up and stare at me and shit. It's just like, yo, just back up a little. That's and like girls are always just looking, trying to act like they're hot and shit. It's like, well, you're not that hot because you're trying to be hot.
I know what you mean.
When you try hard, that's when you die hard. Kanye West.
Yeah. Likewise, I definitely agree. And I feel like even with Toronto too, like because like there's like a lot of stuff going on with venues like shutting down and all that too, reformation of certain venues too, and like promoters like doing like the most for like chump change and all that too. So I have like noticed like these like issues like going on too, and I don't know if you've ever had like any experiences with that or like noticing like situations where like these like venues shut down, like these promoters like act janky like in a way and all that.
There's the one where they tried to get us to like we get money after a certain amount of sales or something.
Yeah, like that pay to play type of thing, you know? Like, come on, bro. It's like we're providing an entertainment service for y'all. People want to see live music, but there's a lot of games, and it's like, yeah, we don't do it for the money, but the reality is we live in a society where like each action got to make money. You got to monetize everything. So if expecting us to pay to play, that just ain't going to happen, you know? So there's an opportunity for the scene to like really reshape what live music even is. And if we can't bring people into the venue, we're going to bring the music to the people. If we got to pull up to Bellwoods Park, whatever, with a quick generator till the police come, we're going to do that because people want to hear live music, especially after the COVID years. There's this like energy where they really want to appreciate music done live by like real musicians, you know? So like it's definitely a fun and exciting time, but it's very new to us too, to everybody.
Yeah, sure.
I feel like we're a little bit more digestible too in our sound. It's not just like super harsh.
Yeah, for sure. Like I know my guy, like Kim Dillo, actually did that. Like when he was like performing at like Rolling Loud, like in the parking lot too. Like I think he brought like a generator, and like people like tapped
things
in.
like that.
And like I think Daniel Caesar like did that back in like 2017, where he performed at like Trinity Bellwoods, and like it got like a crowd too. So yeah,
it's like that song. I keep hearing that one song, "Dancing in the Moonlight," just over and over. Like so many different versions of it, but like that's kind of what it is, you know. So everyone just dance and just, you know,
it's a vibe.
For sure.
Because if you go to other places like Europe and stuff, like even South America, Central America, like they really appreciate live music, you know. Yeah. But here it's like Toronto. It's like they appreciate live music, but it's like the economic system that doesn't prioritize artists. And even like they have factor grants and all that, but it's all like label groups getting that. It's not like the little guy getting that. So like I feel like the institutions are completely corrupt when it comes to that.
Yeah. I definitely agree too. Yeah, it is like more like label focused than like anything else because
it's a small club and we ain't in it. Yeah. But we're a bigger club, so
yeah. Or like if you have like a family from like a rich, like from a rich
nepotism,
family, all that type of stuff too. Yeah, no.
And that goes for anything. That goes for business. It's not just a music issue. It's a societal issue.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I know we just have like some of these like topics like left in a sense too. So with your situation with social media, like and all that, like how has it helped you, like in a way, not only as an artist but someone who provides like unique discourse and like you just like being active on there, like even like going on Sixbuzz or like on other platforms and all that.
Well, the way I use it, like I don't do this like the endless scroll because like there's no end to that. So
I never look at anything.
I see like whatever's on the first thing that pops up. I'll do a quick 1-2 comment, and like
it's like somebody that you like. It's kind of cool. Check out
I might say some wild things, but guess what? People's memory is less than a goldfish these days. So it's like I'd be getting responses from something like 8 weeks ago. And it's like, dog, you still pissed about this, man? It was 8 weeks ago. I forgot about this. But it's like, why I agitate is like that's how you break like the programming, you know? So I believe in agitate, educate, and organize. Yeah. So someone might be mad, but then you can switch them into like to understand your point of view too and see that like, oh, we have common interests. Because I don't look at humanity divided into different groups. I look at it as like one organism, and that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah. It's like social media is like kind of like the new TV and all that. Like it replaced TV. Like no one even uses it.
It's a great tool for sure, you know? Yeah. Like even like I'm mixing stuff, like there's like mixing tips and stuff I follow. So like for sure, it's a great tool. Like a lot of my followers, like guys, it's not just from meeting people on the street. It's like it's from like comments and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly, man. Nah, it's definitely like a great tool to use, like
Yeah.
like not only like in promotion, but
Yeah.
to learn as well too. So
For
yeah.
sure, because
Yeah.
like the hashtags is one way, but like when people like what you said, say, oh, let me check out the reels, give you some like, it goes a long way, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like in some ways, like complete strangers you never met support your thing more than people you've known for 10 odd years, you know. Because
Sure.
who's familiar with you, like could be family, whatever. Like who's more familiar tends to like, oh, he's just doing his thing. Or how's the podcast thing going? But when strangers like show you love, like that's to me is like a blessing that really keeps it moving.
Yeah, nah, for sure, man. And you know, you have like the upcoming single like coming up soon and all that. So tell me more about that and
What
like the,
Shambo? Want to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to get the mix perfect. It's like there's so many details in a song mix, so you can just keep going on and on and on. I'm excited to get that out, though. I think we're pretty close.
Yeah, we put in that album's worth of work into this one song because this is like the first like coming out song, you know. Like here's Doomstone, and it's the perfect song.
That's
I'd
one
say
of
for,
our
like,
best songs too.
It's
That
like our
song
kind of our
hits.
signature song, and like it has like little hip hop and groove and like metal. It's like a smorgasbord of different styles.
for sure. And I guess like aside from that, like do you have like other stuff like going on? Like I know you have a show on July 20th and all that, but do you have like anything else as well too?
We gotta start thinking about making a music video for some of these. I got 2 more songs recorded right now too that we're just finishing mixing. Bong Ripper and Art of Anger, and then yeah, we're pretty much just like refining our sound again, getting the new bass tightened up. It sounded pretty sick with him on bass. I actually like the vibe
Respect.
a little bit more, and it sounded a bit more like rock and roll now that he's like in tune with the instrumental a little bit more.
Yeah, because there's no like ego or nothing like that. You know, it's like everything's in the service of the song. Like if he tells me, yo, do it like this, I do it like that. Because like he understands the sound the most. And like but he's still open to ideas, you know? So
Yeah.
we'll try it. And if it works, it works. If it don't work, on to the next. We keep it moving. It's all about the process, right?
It's just like figuring out ideas and stuff and seeing what works.
For sure. And do you guys have any like closing remarks you'd like to say and where they can like follow you like on social media and all that?
Yeah, Doom Stoned Music _ between every word on Instagram. Doomstoned on YouTube. We're on TikTok too.
So with Ronaldo, also known as Pop Plug and all that, and Dan as well too, I just want to thank you guys for like everything, for sharing your knowledge, like sharing your life story, like with the band, with how the band was formed, the music, everything else more. And you know, like I wish like nothing but the best for you guys, like in the formation of the
likewise.
journey and all that, and like hopefully like everything goes like well with the singles, with the shows and all that too, and like we'll definitely have you on back and all that. No.
Yeah, we got a whole inventory of riffs that we're working on too for new songs, and
Sure.
always endless amount of content that's gonna happen.
Yeah, just
Likewise.
about creating against all odds, you know?
Likewise.
That's what it's about. That's what we all want.
Likewise. And, you know, this is Josh, also known as Yashu, with episode 92 of the TLOY Talks podcast with the legendary Doomstone music. You know, you can get this on all platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, like much more and all that too. Check out the Patreon as well too, where a lot of like exclusive like content will be there too. Just sign up for the tiers and all that too if you want to support like a little bit further. Check out the music too, like on the YouTube channel. They have the process for the Rochambeau song and like a lot more too. Like definitely tap into those. Definitely tap into the show on July 20th, which will be like a banger as well too. And you know, this is Josh, also known as Yashu, with Doomstone Music, signing off on TLOY Talks.